Hello?
Yeah, hello, welcome back. Everything is
All
alright?
right. Yep, there we go. We're all good.
Okay, perfect. So,
And my apologies.
yeah, that's alright, that's alright. Let's start with one of the replays then, on Zenyatta, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Yeah, just make sure to send me one, and we should be good. Let's
Yep,
start with
I
the one.
am sending it
Mm-hmm.
right now.
Okay, so we mentioned probably need to start with positioning, ult usage, damage versus healing. Well, on Zenyatta, to be honest, because of just how much damage you can do, you definitely emphasize that a lot of times. Also, just knowing that who you put your Discord on and your healing orb on is going to be really important too. So,
Right.
yeah, there's going to be a lot of that. Okay, let's see. It should work. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, perfect. Let's take a look. Okay, so maybe thoughts about any thoughts about this map? What do you think you've been struggling with? Is it still positioning, ult usage, or is
I
there
think
anything else? Hmm.
for this one, the big thing is like positioning on first is just awkward, especially on attack, just because the high ground is very awkward to get on Zen. But
That's who.
uh, overall, I understand where I want to be. It's just getting there is annoying.
Well, and where you want to be in general, Zenyatta? What kind of positions you looking for?
Long range, wide, long sight lines,
Yeah,
uh, and general, like close to cover.
yeah, close to cover, yeah, as well. Okay, let's see how is the fight's gonna be then. Especially rotations part, a lot of times might be tough, you're right, so let's look. Okay, so I think it might be important to start with because you just switch to support and it's gonna be really important on any support character. It's your uptime, okay? And the uptime, it has to do with both damage and the healing.
Hmm.
The idea is, when we're looking at the uptime, is that we simply looking to go towards activities, support the most active member on your team, and at the same time, you also want to do pressure, a lot of pressure. It's kind of usually goes pressure first, and then support activity. Okay, I would put it this way. So we can see here, for example, I'll just go back a little bit. Let's start with supporting activity, because this is really important. When you look at your teammates here, who do you expect to be the most active on your team on this composition?
Uh, Winston
Winston,
or
maybe.
Sombra.
Yeah, maybe Sombra as well. But see, this is highly depends on situation, because activity is based on multiple things. Okay, I would just keep it simple. You first can look at the position of the character. Yeah, maybe generally speaking, you can also anticipate, like you did now, just who is going to be positioning more aggressively. We expect the Winston is diving in more. We expect the Sombra going in more as well in the back line. So that is something to keep in mind. And another thing is just HP, and is the person, are they actually receiving pressure? Okay,
Right.
so if they're receiving pressure, yeah, I'm just gonna write it down. Receiving pressure, okay, and HP is critical, then you usually start supporting them more. Obviously, with Orb, it can be more forgiving because you can leave an Orb and you don't have to necessarily just always press it. Yeah, it's just not similar to Ana healing, for example, or Kiriko, where you have to swap. Yeah, you have two choices: do you heal or do you damage? Here, you kind of leave the orb, and then it's gonna be fine. But the thing is, with your uptime, is that you see how many times you swap that orb. So you kind of see, okay, there's a Kiriko who might need it. There is also, afterwards, you start swapping it towards another target. Yeah, it's Sombra, and then you're trying to place it on this Winston here. But during that time, when you did this swap, you want to ask yourself the question, is it necessary for me to do the swap right now, or could I be doing meaningful pressure as well? Is it that necessary for us to heal this up? Yeah, and I'll just go back to it. Yeah, because you notice that Kiriko is low HP. Starting here. Okay, is it the most important thing for us to do now? And also, are they the most active person anyway? To even to place the orb
No.
on? Right. You see, you just a lot of the times you even can think that because you place an orb on somebody, you just tell them that, oh, you can be more aggressive because they visually can see an orb on them. For example, if the Winston has an orb, they're more likely to be aggressive, or if there's orb on the Sombra, then they're more likely to be aggressive too. Okay, the point of the orb is just to enable aggression. Okay, we keep it
Right.
this way. Activity, we're supporting that, and see who's the most active right now. If we look at this, what do you think? Who's gonna be good to place the orb on?
Uh, Probably Sombra or Symmetra, because Winston probably needs to wait for Bubble
Yeah,
to
yeah,
come back.
yeah. Well, arguably during that time, if you would have this orb still on the Winston, would that be fine still? Also,
Yeah, it would.
maybe, yeah, because you definitely also can think about swapping an orb, but at the same time, if we focus on that too much, then there's losing value on your damage side. And see here, you just kind of go for general pressure, and this is fine, but you can have even bigger amount of pressure in general. Okay, so how you usually do that, and just idea about the damage, because you always start with that, is whenever there's downtime with Zenyatta, you have the downtime with the damage. You cannot see anybody in front of you. You just want to charge your right click at all times. Okay, so you see it here. There's a time when you kind of started, okay, I place an orb, I cannot see anybody. You done one shot, and then they kind of did hide there behind the cover. Okay, so this
Mhm.
is already a good point. We just simply charge the right click because it's just gonna be bigger damage output. Or of course, if we see the target right in front of us, then it's fine. Going for continuous damage with mouse one is even better. But if not, then right click is simply better. Yeah, that makes sense.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay. So that is something to start with, right away. I think it's good to show any of the good examples of that uptime. Okay, do we have anything in the folder? Okay, Zenyatta. Okay, let's see who we got. I think I showed some of the fronts on rank to GM before. There's also Costa, okay, Orbs, all of that. I'd see that. Okay, let's look at that a little bit because I think any of the Overwatch players are doing pretty good job at that. The high rank. Okay, well, Costa back in the days he was playing Overwatch a lot. He's been on the professional team as well. Now he is a caster, I believe, and one of the developers as well. So
Okay.
yeah, they know the game pretty well. And you see the orb. I'll just go back, just see how that starts. Actually starts with uptime right away. If we're going back, you see they cannot see an enemy, they instantly charge the right click and also just put an orb on somebody who they expect to be the most aggressive. They kind of going forward and start with the right click. That's why here the pressure starts. Now I put an orb on the most aggressive member, but then because there's downtime, I create the more burst opportunities. If the enemies are right in front of me, then you just go for general damage, normal damage. Okay, now let's see what they're gonna do next. Okay, put an orb and then go for the damage most of the time. There's a small thing, by the way. You see that? Where they cancel the right
Yeah,
click with
the
the melee.
cancel.
Yeah, there's also a small thing you can do. You don't have to focus on that too much, but this one here, just with the right click, so you get in time, at least when you cannot see the enemy, then do that. They just trying to maximize the amount of the right click they can get by canceling it because they not as well. There's nobody around this corner when they pick the sideline. They might expect somebody here. There's nobody, so let's pick the next sideline and prepare another right click. That's why. And you're just gonna do that. Okay, let's start here. Pressure, shoot, shoot, shoot. And just because they kind of standing still there in front of him, the most one is fine. They miss some of the shots, but the intentions are alright. To be honest, you don't have to hit every shot. Okay? Yeah, does it make sense? The right click and normal damage.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, maybe any questions about this idea?
No, I think that makes sense. I just need to use more right clicks in general. I don't use
Yeah,
it enough.
that's what it feels like. Because right away, you could be already using around 2-3 right clicks. It's really important. You see, like now, okay, what I do? Right click. Downtime. Right click. You have the... kind of scaring them with the tiny bits of the shots, and if they stand it still, then does a lot of damage, but your right click is kind of like a defensive resource in a way too. If they peek, they instantly blast it. It's just like picking Widowmaker. They don't want to pick Widow at the long sideline, right? It's similar to you. They
Right.
don't want to pick you at the long sideline too. You're one of the highest burst characters, to be honest. There was one, I don't know if you know the player Jijonak. They've been really, really good on Zenyatta. When they play in Overwatch League, I think a lot of people even say that the Zenyatta got nerfed because of this guy, because they knew how to use right click so well, and they just been picking the corners so well and one-shotting people. Just imagine. Well, it's all right. Yeah, we keep shooting. Apply pressure. This is the time when you again charge the right click. TP is alright. Okay. Yeah, let's see the next fight. The right click start, yes, you just need to do that. To be honest, during the poke phase, you don't even look for the kills, you just fumble charge. So whatever you do with the right click is alright.
Okay.
Just kind of go for the cheap damage. Maybe somebody will not be there, but at least you just did something. Yeah, this is definitely fine corner. A really good corner to use a lot of times. Just push them out, push them out. Okay, this way you would start to right click again. You reload around the corner, right click, and go for the pressure. Okay, who your orb should be on, by the way. This is what I mean. This is critical, but I think I'm more stacked right now.
Right. No, that's Monkey.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. So your orb should be there. Let your whatever Kiriko handle this. If we really need, if there's nobody else who is active, then place it on this Sombra. But right now, it can be Monkey, it can be even Symmetra, because they are more active simply. Just put it on them. Okay, let's keep watching. And this is gonna be a similar thing on any support, really. Always heal activity, don't do too much. I appreciate the proactivity with the ult usage too. I think it's alright. You definitely can also use it to counter something when they commit the push, but I think it's fine to start with, kind of finding opportunities. Okay, okay, okay. I'm curious, your positioning in general, what are you looking for with that? Well, you
What I
mentioned lone
was
sightline and just the yeah, the lone sightline was the one, but is there anything else? What do you want to position in terms of angles? How wide you can go? How far away you want to be from your team?
uh I want to be like as far back as possible, pretty much, as far as I understand.
Okay.
Like I basically want to have the longest hallway ever that's completely narrow. So I literally just shoot down one angle and I keep taking damage.
So yeah, let's start with this idea. Okay, I think it's gonna be important. It's just gonna be similar to what we talked about with you on the previous sessions too. Anyway, it's just if you want to do normal pressure. Yeah, we talked about the mechanics specifics. Okay, I'm just gonna put it this way. Mechanics with normal damage. There's also right click when to do that. And now to just be able to do damage properly, this is also important. You just want to find your off angle on the map too, similar to the other characters we talked about will be slightly similar to maybe some of the Freya's, because Freya's angles, because she is can be at the long distance too, but because you're playing longer range character, you definitely need the long sideline, and you also don't have as much mobility. That's why you're pretty far away. Okay, so the thing is, this entire time, for example, the fight is about to start. Okay, and I'm here. Well, this can be okay position, but generally speaking, you want to be having some sort of off angle where it's 45 or even 90-degree if the map allows you. So how it looks like. If you
Like
have
on
this,
that left side.
yeah, yeah. For well, possibly it can be, but the thing is, because you don't have mobility, you also want to keep that in mind. You want to make sure that you will receive support. So technically, this arguably with HP pack, this can work because your team is attacking this area. I think this can work. If you're talking about this left side, right? Or
Yeah.
yeah, possibly this can work. Okay, because your team is attacking from here, I'm kind of forming this perpendicular angle, and that's gonna be fine. Okay, so taking off angles, writing it down. Taking 90 off angles. I'll show an example of that. Let me see. Okay, YouTube. Oh, that was my video. Well, I can just go on my YouTube, I guess. I'm not sure why it's not in the folder. Okay, I'm just gonna move. Give me a second. Okay, so positioning, Senora. It's gonna be around here. Just give me 2 seconds. I think it
Take your time.
says, yeah. Just gotta open. There are 2 channels, since I have to swap between them sometimes, so I can see the videos. Seems I got stuck in this second channel. Okay, now it's fine. Now it's loaded. Okay, now let's go on the page. It's here. I can also send you this later on, but it's good. Okay, let's start with this one. So in this video with the player, we talked about how you want to take off angles, so it gives you more opportunities to hit shots, but also what's more importantly is diverts the enemy attention. It just allows you to do more damage. Yeah, bigger damage output is important. So just look at this example. This is gonna be the front playing Zenyatta. Okay, let's go back, and it's starting here basically. Yeah, I think the video. Okay, now it's fine. So their team is starting the main choke here. This is area A, and you will see them as soon as there's opportunity, they will try to go towards some sort of 90 angle. In this case, they probably will try to go towards the left side all the way because you have long sightline, and this way you can easily divert the enemy attention, easily do pressure. The map allows you to. Even this choke here is still possible to do. Okay, so this is where I'm gonna talk a little bit about that, and they actually start moving on this angle. Okay, they kind of just apply pressure on the mortar there, and then there's also this angle there once should have formed. You see where their Risa is? She's at the position A, and they're at this position B. And this is really good, because they just continuously apply pressure from the better sideline. Okay, the quality drops. Give me a second. Okay, let's just do this. At least 720. Yeah, there's some problems with the Wi-Fi on my end. I'm not sure. Well, okay,
I spread it.
yeah, it's infection or something. Yeah, I think there's some done uploads. That's why I'm uploading few things. That's why.
That'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna show you another example here. Yeah, let's just wait a little. Okay. Yeah, here we go. It's some wonder why. Well, let's get it. Let's get it sometime. Well, it's fine. It's still. I'm just wanna. Okay, at least one more. Yeah, it's gonna be here. Second point, their team is gonna push through here. This is the main lane.
They're gonna
And
go
then,
right side.
yeah, they will try to take right side. Exactly. They even try to push the enemy spawn later on. You will see them how far they will go, and just really again abuse the fact that they can take 190 angle. We'll see that. Okay, they're eventually on this right side, kind of keep fighting, and then see how far they're gonna go. Just gonna let it load. Okay, this is where they are. Their team is still on this main choke there. Okay, they're pushing, eventually end up here. It's really insane sideline. Their team is actually not too close to them in there, but this is still 90 angle, creates a lot of pressure. Yeah, well, I think it's mainly that. Does it make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so something we can definitely apply later right away. It's gonna be It's gonna be really good. Okay. Now let's keep watching. Let's just watch a little more. I see here, kind of just staying in front, and there's also no opportunity for you to do the proper right click. Imagine you do it from the angle, you just take 90, and you're gonna do alright. Of course, you might die too when you're doing that initially, but think about you taking an angle as opportunity to do a lot of pressure, and your right click as your defensive tool. If somebody goes on you, then you can always use that and answer the enemy aggression. You will be alright most of the time. Yeah, it's where this Hanzo appears again. The downtime, charge right click. Downtime, charge right click. Do something. Yeah, this guy would be dead right away if you had the right click, I think. This is also, there were good shots too. I want to say that. Yeah, this is fine. But you just can have the high uptime then anyway, if you would have the right click charged. Because this guy might jump the way. The good Hanzo, they would just try to pick the angle, but they jump because they want to go back to cover. They just want to go get on their sideline. Ultimate's alright. I wouldn't nitpick on that right now, to be honest. It's not.
Yeah, I should have definitely peeked that with right click.
Yeah, and you see that exactly. You have the opportunity. It's similar to Widow. Widow would not pick that soldier with just SMG, right? The Widow would pick with a scoped shot. So similar to just charge the right click. Okay, charge right click, go for the damage. Okay, damage, and no orb swapping. See, just place it on the guy who is active. Look at the position mainly, I think it's gonna be fine. Position, and are they receiving pressure and HP? That's good. Yeah, so orb could be in this guy entire time, to be honest. Just help him out, just let him know, oh, I have an orb and you can go. And the armor will always be getting healed. And then after, maybe you can also place it on the Sombra. If you have the sideline, of course. Yeah, right looks good. Where could he be, by the way, when you're approaching this? Let's just go back a little bit.
The far right side. Over by the health pack over there. And the elevator to the high ground.
Possibly, yeah. It's still better. Yeah, it's still gonna be better. The high ground is even more preferable if you can get there too. It's not too accurate 90, but you kind of lean it towards that. There's not always strict rule, just always take 90, but if you can, then do that, because the enemy are gonna strafe. Just like that. We talked about that as well, I remember, yeah? They trying to strafe against the main sideline. It's especially important when you play in Zenyatta. You just want to make it easy for you to line the shots. Yeah. I'll right click, damage. Okay, and also set up on this 90 angle. Okay. This is better. There's definitely a decent angle here. Okay. What do you think about this fight? The approaching the next point. Where should he be?
Left side probably. Or far right side.
What do you think is better?
Well, considering they were just spawning on right side, I would probably want to go left. Just because I know where they're coming from.
Well, it can be, yeah. It's definitely okay. I think both of the things are okay. Just here, you're probably gonna have greater range, but this way, it might be risky because it's a short distance based on where those two people are. Yeah, those other people are just gonna come back and gonna have long range, so it's fine. And those people are really close, just something to keep in mind. I think both options can work. I usually prefer cutting off enemy when they go this way. You just know that they have this defensive rotation. You try to pincer them a little bit more in a way.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but this partially kills you because you don't exist on the main. It's not gonna do any good. You just need to start with angle, right click, and go for the damage. It's gonna be alright. There's a lot of aim on the corners as well to make it easy, but yeah. Let's see, we are just approaching this guy. Got him, nice. Probably again start with the right click. And here, start with the right click. Yeah, no, not this. Okay, reload. Don't forget about your HP. It's recharging, and you also have the shields which are recharging. You have
Right.
most of your HP is the shield, basically. That's how far you can go. You can trade all of those shields. That's why Zenyatta, they don't have a lot of mobility, but they have some sustain. You gotta abuse that. So make sure those are recharged, and then you can do stuff. And you will be
I'll keep
peeking
that in
with
mind.
right click. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Right click, sure. You see how uncomfortable it is, right? It's just these guys, they easily dodging your shots. You gotta be somewhere else. Where should you be?
This time is definitely right side.
Yeah, I think right side is fine. Just go there, start the pressure. I think it's gonna be alright. Wow, it's attack. Do you want to watch the defense as well?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, let's see. Starting at the top, this is already pretty good. Why not? There's usually some Zenyatta's, they do early peaks here because there's early sideline too. It's kind of 90 angle as well, so there's not too bad, but I then need to spend some time rotating. Usually people rotate here because there's longer sideline, and just slide off angle this one can also work, but it's slightly harder for you because when you approach the choke, you at the short sideline here, it's not too long. So kind of a lot of times forced to do this, yeah, forced to drop a lot of times. So
Yeah.
it's kind of usually start on the left side and just go right there somewhere. Yeah, just go above. This is also okay. Yeah, and ironically, need to do more damage there for sure, because this guy just with the uptime will help so much. You save your team by simply doing more damage. A lot of people think they need healing, but in reality, you do more damage, you heal your team this way, because the enemy team will never pick. They all just die too.